All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to crack the code on a test that I know is on a lot of your minds, the TKA English test.
So, let me guess, the TKA English test is coming up, and you're feeling a little nervous? Maybe a lot nervous? Yeah, I get it. It's a big deal, and it can feel super intimidating.
Well, here's the good news. You are definitely not alone in feeling that way. And the even better news? This test isn't some impossible mountain to climb. It's more like a puzzle, a code. And right here, right now, we're going to crack that code together.
So, what's our game plan? First, we'll figure out what this test is really asking. Then, we'll decode its secrets, and I'll show you the exact types of text you're going to face. After that, we'll build a smart prep plan with some killer tactics for test day. Stick with me, and you'll have everything you need. Okay, first things first. What is this test actually about? A lot of people think it's just a big vocabulary quiz or a test on super complicated grammar rules. But trust me, that's not the whole picture. Here's the official scoop. The TKA English test is all about measuring how well you can understand the kind of English you'll actually see and use out there in the real world. Think about it. Stuff you'd read for school, for a job, or just in your day-to-day life. It's about practical skills, not just memorizing stuff. All right, this is where we get into the secret sauce. To really beat this thing, you've got to understand that it tests you on 3 different levels. Seriously, think of it like a video game. You've got to clear level 1 and 2 before you can even think about taking on the final boss, right? It's the same idea here. So here they are, the 3 levels. I like to call them finding the facts, reading between the lines, and judging the argument. Now, these are just my simple names for the official terms, but honestly, they're way easier to remember, and they tell you exactly what you need to do. Okay, level 1, finding the facts. The official name is pemahaman tekstual, but all it really means is, can you find the information that's written right there on the page? The answer is literally in the text. You just got to find it. We're talking names, dates, places, the easy stuff.
Now we're leveling up. Level 2 is reading between the lines, or pemahaman inferential. This is where things get a bit trickier, because the answer isn't just sitting there waiting for you. You have to be a detective, Connect the dots, figure out what the author really means, even if they don't say it directly. This is about understanding the why behind the what.
And here it is, the final boss. Level 3, judging the argument. The official term is evaluação de apreciação. This is the top tier. You're not just reading anymore. You're thinking critically about what you've read. Can you tell if something is a fact or just someone's opinion? Is the author's argument actually any good? This is where you really show off your brain power.
Okay, so we know the skills they're testing for. But what about the reading passages themselves? What are you actually going to be looking at? It's like they say, right? You got to know your opponent to win the fight.
The test usually throws 5 main types of texts at you. You've got narrative, descriptive, recount, procedure, and this one called analytical exposition. Now don't panic. You don't have to be a literature professor. Just knowing what to look for in each one gives you a massive advantage. So let's zoom in on a couple of the big ones.
First up, narrative texts. Super simple. These are just stories. Their whole point is to entertain you or maybe teach you a little lesson. Think of any fairy tale or legend you've ever heard. You've got characters, a story, a problem, and a solution. Pretty standard stuff. And check this out. This is a perfect example from a sample text. Sun Tin was the spirit of the mountain, and Thuy Tin was the spirit of the waters. The king found it hard to choose, so he decided to give them a test. See, you can just feel the story kicking off. We've got our characters, a problem, and a challenge. It's classic storytelling.
So what kind of question would they ask about a story like that? Well, a classic level 2 question might be something like, why did Thuy Tin attack San Tin after the wedding? The story might say he was angry, but it probably won't say why. You have to connect the dots. He lost the contest, so you infer he was angry and jealous. See how you have to read between the lines? That's the skill.
Okay, let's do a complete 180. The next text type is called analytical exposition. Forget stories. This one is all about making an argument. The writer has a point to prove, and their one and only goal is to convince you that they're right.
Take a look at this quote. I strongly believe that social media harms teen mental health. Whoa, no beating around the bush there, right? When you see phrases like, I strongly believe, that's a huge red flag. You know the rest of that article is going to be packed with reasons and evidence trying to get you on their side. That's persuasion in action. All right, we've broken down the what and the why of the test. We know the levels, we know the text types. Now for the million-dollar question, how do you actually get ready for this thing? Let's talk strategy.
This right here, this is your battle plan. And it's pretty simple, actually. First, just read something in English every single day. News, stories, blogs, whatever you find interesting. Second, get your basic grammar down. I'm not talking about becoming a grammar nerd, just the basics. Third, when you see a new word, don't just memorize it. Learn it in a sentence. And this is the big one, practice against the clock. And then, and this is so important, go back and look at your mistakes. That is where you'll improve the most, for sure.
And yeah, about that timer, let's talk about it. Time is your biggest enemy on this test. So when you practice, you need to have a target. And that target is 1 minute. 1 minute per question. That's it. If you can train yourself to do that, you'll be in great shape when the pressure is on for real.
Okay, so you've done all the prep. Now, picture this. It's test day. You're in the room, the clock is ticking. What do? Let's get into some winning tactics you can use right there in the moment.
On test day, you have 2 secret weapons, skimming and scanning. And note, they are not the same thing. Skimming is when you do a quick flyby to get the main idea. You read the title, the first sentence, the last sentence, that's it. You're just trying to figure out what the text is about. Scanning is different. That's when you're hunting for something specific, like a name or a date. Your eyes are just darting across the page looking for that one keyword. Master these 2 and you will save so much precious time.
Wow, okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, right? From the secret levels of the test to exactly what to do on the big day. So let's wrap this up and boil it all down to the one thing you really need to remember.
So listen, if you take away only one thing today, let it be this. This test is not a wall built to keep you out. Think of it as a stage. It's your opportunity to step into the spotlight and show everyone what you can do. It's your chance to prove how much you know and to get to that next step. You've got the strategy, you've got the tools. So the only real question is, are you ready to go out there and crush it